Hey, good folks. I'm gonna give it a few more seconds before I get started, but this is Nicole Sharp here. I try to keep myself honest, so just wanted to touch base. I am actually on my way headed to Key West for a family funeral, and so you gotta endure that time. You gotta figure out ways to stay honest and hold yourself accountable. So this is making it happen. So I'll get started in like 2 more seconds. And I'll tell you what I'm going to go ahead and talk about right now. Who's this? JT? Was it JT Love 923? Did you happen to have like a question? If you did, I can, we can join. I'll have you join in. Oh, thank you. Exclusively lovely. I felt like it was a bad hair day, but thanks. Okay. Well, like I said earlier, you guys, hi, this is Nicole Sharp. If you guys don't know me, I am heading to a family funeral. She's like a great aunt, she passed away, and so I'm headed down to Key West to go to the funeral. But to keep myself honest, I wanted to just touch bases with everybody and have a topic for this week to kind of talk about. The time before that, I talked to you guys about the business model canvas. If you guys have tried that, I think that's super dope. Then you should use that if you have an idea or you're trying to come up with an idea to flesh everything out. And I think it's really important if you do that. It'll give you framework on how to do everything. And then I also talked to you guys about just keep pressing forward. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the 6 pillars it takes to get any business going. And so I'm going to go ahead in like a few more seconds to talk about it. But what I want to first tell you guys, some people are like, well, what makes you qualified? Okay, if you have a question to the end, if you don't mind, or we'll break it up halfway, actually, when I get to the third area, and then I'll go into questions for a few seconds, and then answer any questions that you guys may have. But the question I got, somebody said, well, what makes you qualified? So I'll tell you a little bit about me. Started a government consulting firm that got to 7 figures within 3 years. Then decided to start a side hustle, which was, just like it was literally something I did on my own. And I had a shoe obsession, and I also like to travel a lot. So I patent luggage, and it's a travel bag that's going through manufacturing. I'll talk about that soon with you guys. And I'll talk to you about manufacturing a little bit as well. And then I also had another side hustle where I make shoes. I became a cobbler, and I also worked with a manufacturer to make all of my designs. And so I have 17 designs. I sell currently 12 of them. And I literally started my business because out of need, through the sorority. I had a pair of shoes I wanted, and they didn't make it. And so my first month without a website, without anything out there, I actually made about $10,000, and it was a business. And so that's kind of what makes me qualified in talking about this. And I did everything on a lean budget. I did not get a conventional loan even for my consulting firm. So I kind of just started just out of faith, hope, and a plan. And all the stuff that I've used and I'm sharing with you guys is all the stuff that I've used, I'm sharing with you guys for free. And this is information that you can do on a lean budget. I even, when I had a full-time job, would take a portion of my paycheck and allocate it to the business. And I do the same thing now for my regular business. So, and I reinvest, of course, and try to do those things. And so there are ways you can make money, and you can reinvest and do all of that. So had no notion wanting to start my own business. That was not the goal. I didn't even think when I worked for a consulting firm that I was business oriented. And for the people that are watching the page that know me, they know I prefer to wear sweatpants and everything, keep my hair like this. But you know, in corporate America, you have to do those things. I enjoy corporate America and all of that. And yes, reinvesting in yourself is important, because at least almost about 80, I think the statistics show at least 80% of all businesses do not start with an actual loan. So that's why it's important to go ahead and do a BMC, which is a business model canvas. If you guys don't know, it's actually in my bio. If you click the link in my bio, it's the first link on the page, and you'll see it. It says BMC and it's fillable, and you want to, you know, use that. So it's extremely important to go ahead and have that. So I'll go ahead and get started. The 6 pillars of any business. First is sales and marketing. What that basically means is it's all your leads to your business. It's how you identify, you know, how you're going to allocate money and resources to get things going. It is extremely important to have that. You're basically responsible for defining your market. In addition to that, your sales and retaining your sales, all your business. In order to sustain a business, you have to have new business, current business, and continuing business. That's really the whole idea. Also, number 2 is operations. So with operations, you are fulfilling a promise in all your sales. Basically, the sales team, even if it's you identify those leads, and then you implement on those leads and how you operate. It literally is the infrastructure to get things going. It's the back office. Those things are extremely important. And HR team or your actual team. That means, you know, you have somebody, if you're hiring staff, they pretty much get you involved in getting everything going on what you need to get done. They make sure all the staff is up to compliance with the government, with the state, with your local legislature, and so it doesn't have to be HR. It could be your operations team, and so you and someone else or whatever. So I always say the HR, because that could be you and it could be someone else that works with you, especially as you expand. Number 4, which is let me stop there, because we did say it. Number 3. Did anybody have questions or comments? I see WFGP 426. You said yesterday I had meetings regarding mobile app development. That's awesome. Super. Okay, you're seeking VPs and silent investors and partners. Awesome. Good luck with that. There are definitely ways you can do it. I'll have to share that too, because you can get silent investors and partners, and you also can get other ways of funding. You don't have to use all of your money, and you know, I've done that too, and it's really helpful. Okay, so going to number 4, speaking of that, finance. That is how you keep the business running. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Y'all, it is important. If you don't have the resources to do it, yeah, you can be on a lean budget, but it's extremely important to make sure you have your finances in order. That's the accounting. I encourage everybody, if you don't do anything else, secure your accountant and secure you an attorney. Even if you have a side hustle, you want to make sure you have that. Shop Recovery Repeat says, how long did it take you to save enough money before you started your business? So that's a great question. Are you referring to my consulting firm, or are you referring to my side hustles? I'll answer. I'll answer your question either way. For my side hustles, I actually I started my side hustle business with, like, I think, a $500. For the first one, I actually started with $1,000 for my luggage, which is Tashka. I started with $1,000. I created my design, I tested it out, and then I joined an incubator, my first incubator for that program. Then, okay, yes, I'm going to answer that. And then for my other side hustle for the shoes, I only spent $500. Now, as months increased, I wound up spending a lot more because my budget increased, because I wanted to make sure I had my trade dress, which is, you know, making sure my patent, my trademark, and all of those things. So I wound up spending a lot more money as the months progressed, but I started out with $500. For my consulting firm, my budget, I literally started with $10,000. How do you save that? I literally stopped shopping. No, I don't have a self-driving car. I'm actually riding with the family right now. But I I literally just saved up my money instead of buying Louboutins and buying all this other extra stuff and traveling like I was, and just hanging out. I just saved my money and looked at that and said, okay, what resources could I stop doing? So I started out, believe it or not, looking at various people. I saw like they had the Starbucks savings, which was cool, and that helped out a lot with saving. And I just said, okay, I first and foremost gave myself some goals, and I said, if I do these outrageous goals, then I'll start my own business. And I achieved them subconsciously. When I looked up, I was like, man, I do definitely need to hold myself accountable, because I was like, I want to pay off my car. Y'all, I don't even drive a fancy car. I do not believe in that. That depreciates. So I have changed and altered my mindset. So anything that depreciates, I do not spend a lot of money on. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like nice things. So yes, for my birthday or something like that, I do buy things, but I try to find things on sale, or I try to not spend money. So no, I don't have a car. I don't have any of those like keeping up with the Joneses things, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't want you guys to think there's something wrong with it. If you need a car, if that's what you like, you get it. But I was determined to start my own business. And right, you're right, WFGP 426. I've had my car for literally 11 years, and I'm riding this sucker till the wheels fall off. Yeah, I don't care what it looks like. I'm not buying a new car until this thing goes to the bucket, and then I'm gonna try to see if I can get it fixed. But it's hilarious. But then again, I mean, I don't care. It's just one of those things. It's like a personal thing of mine now. But yes, so instead of, hold on one second, you guys. Sorry about that. Oh, thanks, Vito. So going to the next one, number 5. So let me do a recap real quick before I just kind of go on. Number 1 was sales and marketing. Number 2 was operations. Number 3 is your HR and team. And number 4 is your finance. Number 4 is your finances. And number 5 is leadership. In order to have a business, you have to have a vision. So it could be you and your partner, it could be you by yourself or whatever, but you have to have a vision. And that's going to help keep the business going forward. Small business, side hustle, doesn't matter. At the beginning of the year, and also I suggest doing each quarter or at least 6 months. It is extremely important to start having your projections on what you want for the business. So if that means, let's say you have a side hustle and you're saying my goal is to do $2,500 a month, that's exactly what you need to do, and that's what you need to focus on. That's your vision, and those are your basic priorities. That's important. So back on to, I just saw this message, WFGP 426 says, your body is your temple. Make sure your internal parts are clean and pristine. Damn, a new car. How about that? Speak on that one. That is the truth. Number 5, leadership. Leadership is important because it, again, going back to what you said, what I was saying earlier, it establishes your priorities, and also it coordinates all the efforts to reassure you're affecting these other pillars. Y'all, I'll keep looking down because I wrote notes. I'm a note taker. I have like 5 notebooks, so don't pay me any mind. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything as I'm relaying this to you, because I think it's so important to kind of write down your notes. It keeps it solid. So I have like a notebook that I keep almost all of my like principles, and so definitely when it comes to business, what's in there. So number 6, okay. I'll answer that question. Give me 1 second. WFGP 426. So number 6, which is important, and we do it intuitively, and it's so important, but you don't realize it, but it's still fundamental. And it's one of the basic. It's one of the pillars in order to keep a business sustained, and that's IT and technology and then systems. The important reason for that is we are now in a technology age, and I don't care what you're doing. It is extremely important to do that. So one of the questions that I saw going into this is WFGP 426 says, at what stage are you in? Do you recommend partnering? So that's a great question. And so I'm going to get a little specific. I'm going to ask a specific question to you. And then he says, follows up and says, collaboration or stay the course and stay solo. That is an executive decision. Awesome, you're an IT professional. All right, that's what's up. So I would say you need to look and evaluate what your core values are, and if you are looking for a partner, identify somebody who has the same thing. I oftentimes I love my friends. I love them to death, but I don't do business with my friends like that, right? And so some of the people that I do business with, they don't look like me. We don't talk alike. We are professional friends. So you have to identify if that's the avenue you want to take. Have I gotten my friends involved? Yes, because I firmly believe if my crew ain't succeeding, what's the point of having everybody? Like, I'm not doing anything if my crew isn't doing it, right? And my friends are successful in their own right, and I'm super proud of them. But their journey is not my journey. So if you have somebody that you know that's kind of on the same wavelength as you, and they have the same vision and they want to support your vision, that could be in the same capacity as you, that could actually be somebody that is a worker bee and helps you and do all of that, you have to make the decision. But just to be specific, are you asking me what are some key things when you realize you should? Now, if you need cash flow, if you need but if you need some guidance to kind of offspring, if you work well in tandem with other people. I do strongly believe you should not work by yourself. With all of my businesses, I actually have people that work with me, or I hire them out and work on a task. So going back to what WFGP426 said, I've worked at a huge conglomerate like CNN, 3M, Microsoft, etc. I've had an idea. I've had my ideas taken. Now I started my own consulting business with myself as a sole employee. So are you a 1099? 7 years in my career field. That's awesome. Are you sole employee? So I have some other questions, but I'm going to read Shop, Recovery, and Repeat. Yes, you and your business partner have to be on the same page and vibe. Preach, girl, all day long, because it can mess up a friendship. It can it can just sour something that's so good, and it's about the vision. It is not about one of my mentors is on here. It's not about the focus. It's really about the mission. And so sometimes personalities clash just because it just wasn't that day. Okay, so you're 1099. So are you looking to scale your business, or are you looking specifically to just kind of figure out where you need to go? I'm asking this specifically because I want to be able to answer your question, and I don't want to veer off. But I'll keep talking about what I was talking about until you answer that. So going back to that, you have to decide if you need a business partner. You can bring a business partner in at the beginning stages, and also at the middle stages. I would not encourage you to bring a partner on at the middle stages. I would encourage you to find investors to help at the middle stages if you are kind of scaling. But if you are just starting out your business, and some people that you vibe with and you have the same core values and principles, then ask them if they would like to be a part of it. Ask them, where is their vision, because it's really good to bounce things off of other people. But when it's good, it's good. But there's no reason to sour a friendship if you don't have to. If you are a 1099, I would encourage you to identify if you should remain a 1099. If you have processes and or systems that you have that where you saying people have stole it, I would strongly encourage you to work with an attorney. Oh yes, and my mentor just put up here, thanks, because shout out to you. He said have a buyout in the original partnership agreement. That is extremely important. Now that should be done by your attorney. And also people who may not have the funds to have an attorney, you can hire Legal Shield. I started out and I had Legal Shield do it. I think I still have it actually. did you work with a coach or a mentor when you started? I still work with a coach and a mentor. Anybody who's a coach and a mentor, if they told you they don't have a coach and a mentor, they're lying to you. They are lying. All coaches and mentors should still have coaches and mentors. You are never at the pinnacle. So you should always have people that you work to, that you glean from, and things of that nature. I had when I started out starting my own business, and my customers thought I should start my own business, I found 4 mentors. One didn't necessarily know they were my mentor. To be honest with you, I just told them, "Hey, you're my mentor." Oh, they were like, I didn't know I was your mentor. Yes. So I had one that was in the government, that was a senior, leader. I had one of my customers who retired, and then I had a friend who was in consulting world. They actually owned a good government consulting business, and then I had a mentor that was an executive for a large IT firm, who was a senior vice president, and so I went to them. One mentor I asked them specifically, tell me everything I need to know that would scare the bejesus out of me to start my business for an entire year. An entire year, all I asked them to do is tell me everything negative. And they're not even a negative person, but just tell me the real stuff that I should be worried about, as an executive. I had another mentor, just tell me how your day is running your business. And we would just touch base. I just want to know what that means, what that looks like in your day. And then I had my senior mentor, thanks. I had my senior mentor that I just wanted to learn. I wanted to learn, what does the government look like? How has things changed since you've been in leadership? What are things I should do? And that person didn't look like me, they didn't talk like me, and so they gave me a different perspective. I had another mentor, or I should say somebody that I looked up to. This person had their IT executive, but I laughed because they were a licensed attorney. So every time I spoke with them, they would reference the FAR or give me homework and go back. So my first year in my business, I had to read the FAR like you read the Bible on Wednesday Bible study. That was my first year in my business. And so once I learned that, especially getting in the government world, that was important. So I'd put in my work. I felt like I was pledging all over again. I had flashcards. I had everything. My house was a freaking mess. But you don't know what you don't know, and you have to put in the work. But yes, so those things, just to kind of wrap it up, I guess you might as well say that's number 7, having a mentor, having someone, leadership that you can kind of bounce things off of, and coaching and consultant. But I would suggest always having a mentor, whether they are virtual, whether they are someone you can talk to. And I always suggest having a mentor that looks like you and thinks like you, one that doesn't look like you and think like you, and one that does, and another one, just so you can kind of just debrief and you know what you're getting yourself into, and they can give you pointers. But just wanted to share that with you guys for the week, and I'll be uploading a lot more items and templates and stuff like that you guys can get and download to help you. The whole idea is just to start a business, and I'm going to post something if you can in a few minutes. I think it's important, so I think it's really cool, and I'm going to mention it on the post. It talks about us, working in the economy and bringing our dollar back to our community. The whole purpose of me doing this is a lot of people have businesses, but they don't know how to sustain businesses. You're going to have peaks and valleys all the time. Everybody does. I have it all the time, sometimes every hour. But the reality is the goal is to sustain your business and to grow your business. Our community, and I'm not saying our community as far as just Black people, because our community is now everyone. Diversity and inclusion is real, and everybody, we're all mixed with different things. So the whole idea is to bring the dollar back to our community, brown, I'll say brown, and also people who are about inclusiveness. And so one of the things that's important is, once you create the business, how do you have it? Well, can't have a business to be able to sustain it if you don't have the infrastructure. And the infrastructure is just as important as having all the other templates and having everything else. And if you keep information to yourself, you can't help other people. And so that's the whole purpose of me sharing this stuff. People reach out to me all the time. And I do consulting. I just started doing consulting one-on-one with some people who have business ideas, and they're wonderful business ideas. And so if you don't have a partner, that is a great way to hire a consultant to kind of help you walk through these steps. Because sometimes you're like, oh man, how can I get to this point? How can I do the next best thing? And so if you don't have a business partner, having a consultant, or you don't have a mentor, also having a consultant to walk these things through. Make sure they sign an NDA first. Doesn't matter what it is, make sure they sign an NDA, so they won't take your idea. And so if you have that, that is so important. And if you're able to sustain your business, you're able to take care of your family. And we're able to hire other people, because there's so many kids and people out here that are not exposed to various career fields. And so why can't you help them learn a new skill set or a new career field? And so you don't have to go to college for that, to start a business. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you did go to college, shout out. Hey, I went to HBCU, so I understand. And I just think it's really helpful if we all just share the knowledge, and we also figure out ways to support the younger kids and help them grow and things of that nature. So if that's your vision, this is for you. But again, I'll be posting other templates that you can use for your side hustle and for your regular business as well. And these are things that you can use that are on a lean budget. All right, that's my story. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and hold yourself accountable. Talk to you later. Bye.